Hey guys, how you doing? Ron's a Nut here. I've got a new video for you, finally, after a bit of a drought. I have had some customer builds that I've been doing, but some of them have just been air-cooled builds, and I needed to turn them around fast, so I really didn't do any recording of them, but I did post them on my Facebook page, so if you're interested, you can always go to find me on Facebook at Ron's a Nut, and you can see what's going on there. But today, I'm happy to report I have a new build, and this is based on, yes, that Ryzen Threadripper, and that's the 1950X, and it was about time to upgrade my STH10, and so I had been waiting. I did buy a Ryzen 1800X, but with all of the storage I have and multiple video cards, I needed something with a lot of PCIe lanes, and I wanted also something that's going to last me a long time. So hopefully this is the build that's going to do it for me. So many of you have been kind in asking where I've been. Well, if I've seen some of my previous videos, some life changes. I got married, new house, don't have my old studio, so you're going to see some basement backgrounds in some of my videos here, but I know that you're all here mainly for the content, so I hope to continue to deliver that. And I'm actually going to be doing that here with this new Ryzen build. So let's take a quick gander at what we got on the table here. So to start it all off with, the motherboard that I picked for this is the Republic of Gamers Zenith Extreme X399 motherboard. It is probably the priciest one that's out right now. I did look at the Aorus, the Gigabyte Aorus. That looked nice, but I really like the features, and especially the DIMM.2 for the M.2 modules. I really liked that feature in this motherboard. Plus, it has a nice aesthetic. I really like the look of it. For RAM, I have 4 kits there of 16 gigabytes each. Those are 2x8 kits for a total of 64 gig of Dominator RAM. Now that memory is on the QVL list for this motherboard, and I had 32 gig, so I was hoping to leverage that, but it looks like they only allow 2 modules to be overclocked, so I'm not sure if that's going to wind up with, but anyway, that is the plan as of right now. Power supply is my trusty old Corsair AX1500i. Video cards, although you see a Gigabyte and an EVGA one up there, they're both the Founders Edition, so they should be identical. I just found good deals on both of them. They are brand new. I got one for like 660 bucks. That was great, and that was, I think, through Amazon. We saw the Ryzen processor, Singularity Computers. I love Daniel Cannon. Daniel's awesome. He's been a great supporter of mine, and I've watched his videos forever. I actually learned a lot from him when I first started out, because he was a forerunner, and now he's taken all of his awesome experience and channeled it into his very own products. I'm so proud and so humbled that I'm going to be able to use this stuff, and he actually sent me a couple of pieces for this build. I also have for water cooling, you'll see there's an Aquaro 6 LT in the back there. I plan to use that. We'll see. I may not, and there's a couple of Aquaro pieces. Bits power blocks, RGB blocks. Now, I'm not a big RGB fan overall. You know, it's okay. But I didn't do this build for RGB, but since the RGB controllers are on this motherboard, I went ahead and decided to try using some of the cable mod stuff. Those are Cooler Master RGB fans. So anyway, so that's what I'm going to go with. And then you'll notice there I have an EK water block, one of the first ones that came out. That is going to be the water block for my build for the processor. And here's a closer look at the storage. The brown box has a Samsung 1TB PM961 NVMe M.2 drive. There's a couple of Samsung SSD 850 EVOs, 2 terabytes each of them. The BPX is a 512 gigabyte M.2 SSDs I'm going to put on that DIMM.2 slot. with the motherboard, that Intel 1.2 terabyte PCI NVMe drive. The closer look at the Platinum Dominator, and those stacked below it is the light pipes. So if I can get that memory to work, the light pipes are going to go on top and make it look really nice. We have the Corsair power supply, the Ryzen processor, and the EVGA GPUs, 1080 Ti's that I mentioned. So in SLI. Right in the middle there, you can see the Protium D5 tops, 2 of those. I'm going to make this a dual loop. Protium covers, Protium tube reservoirs. Beautiful, those are the medium ones, and I'll show them in detail. Then I have the ethereal mounts to mount them. And there's 2 480 hardware black ice, Hardware Labs black ice radiators. I pulled those from the STH10 build that I have right now. We have the EK Supremacy Evo for Threadripper edition that has the nickel plexi. Those pumps are a couple of D5 that I had from the previous STH10. There are the Cooler Master Fan Pros, air balanced. They're both for, you know, good air and good static pressure, and they are RGB that supposedly work directly from the motherboard applications. There's the Aquaro pump controllers, flow valves. Over to the left, you might see that EVGA thing. Those are to save. We'll see if they fit. There, you plug them in the top of your video card, and then you plug your cables in on the side to kind of dress them out of the way. I have a cable mod RGB lights that work with the Aurora on this motherboard, and a couple of Bits Power RGB. Also, they have RGB LEDs that go into the blocks on these Bits Power. So they made that for this GPU. So I'm going to give that a shot. So pretty much that are all the current key pieces going into the system. As usual, when I do a build, I might find some other things to change, but for now, let's take a look at this processor and get it installed. Alright, so getting started with this Ryzen 9050X Threadripper processor, and that guy has 16 cores, 32 threads, and 44 PCIe lanes, which is key for how I plan to configure it and use it. And we have that being mounted onto the Republic of Gamers Zenith Extreme X399 motherboard. And then I hope I can get that sucker overclocked to at least 4.0 or 4.1 without too much trouble. And then 64 gig of the Dominator Platinum 2x8, all of those, DDR4 3000 memory if they'll work on there. And then that's a Samsung 1TB M.2 961 NVMe SSD, and that sucker is green. You'll see when I take him out of the box, he's not the black one, but I saved quite a bit of money getting that version as opposed to the black PCB ones that you get in the standard commercial packaging. We have here one Zenith Extreme motherboard, and let's see, I've got to get it out of this box. It's heavy, but it's very nice. I really like that they have the integrated I/O panel. And so now I'm going to mount this onto my test bench, and there are a couple of screws though that I don't need. Alright, now let's put it on here. Alright. And we have some screw caps. Alright, now that we have the Ryzen Threadripper here, as you can see. Not opened it yet. Rip here. All right. Get that ripped. And then we have here, unlock the power. And we take off the top of this pretty cool packaging. Okay. And here we have it. There she blows. Now I know it comes with a tool. So there's a clip on here, and there's also a tool, I believe, that comes in this packaging. Yes, here we go. We have a tool. So I need that, and we also have a bracket for my all-in-ones, which I am going to use an all-in-one while it's on the test bench. So I'm going to need that. Okay, and for now, let's just keep this out of the way. Okay, we're going to go ahead and give this a shot. So if I follow the videos and directions properly, first I'm going to remove, loosen up the screws here in this order. 3. Oops. Looks like that's already loosened. 2. Can't really tell. Does seem super loose. And then 1. On the Threadripper socket here, it actually tells you open. To open, you can screw 3, 2, 1. There we go. So we have this up. And then there's this, this carrier, that dummy carrier that you remove. So you push these blue tabs in, I believe it is. And then you leave that in place because right now all the pins are protected by that. And then I have removed the this external cap. Then I take our beautiful Ryzen CPU and I slide that in this carrier into this frame until it clicks. Looks like it's clicked just fine. Now I remove this by squeezing down these 2 tabs here, exposing the pins. Then I'll push this down, snap it in place. Then I put the Alright, looks like you just had to give it a little snug, firm push, and that processor is in there in accordance with the directions. Okay. Alright, now time to get We'll get the M.2 drive out and we'll install it in there. Alright, so we have an M.2 drive that can be mounted under here, and there's also the DIMM-like connector, the DIMM2, that is right here. Now I have 3 M.2 drives, so I'm going to put my this is the 960 Evo in the OEM version right here, 1 terabyte. That's going to go under here. And then I have 2 BPX 512 M.2s that I'm going to put on here so that I can play with RAID. You can RAID them together. Now, as of right now, evidently, you cannot RAID the M.2s for the operating system, so it's not bootable. You can't create a bootable RAID at this time right now. So, and that's not something I would do. I like that they're here and I can add them in and remove them like external drives, so I like that feature a lot. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and install this right under here. And so I'm not reading the instructions or anything right now. I'm just removing these 3 screws, which should, I would imagine, hold this down. One, 2, 3. Sorry. All right. Let's see what we have underneath here. Okay. I see. We have. I also have some thermal pad. Looks like right here. So to help some heat transfer off of this guy. Now I'm not going to. I don't plan to remove the sticker off of this. How effective it's going to be, I don't know, but I'm not going to do that right now. So I have the screw from Asus to be able to mount this drive. So we got that. And looks like I have to put the little standoff in place. This is an 80mm M.2. Alright, we're good there. Alright, we got that in. I will remove the adhesive so we get this thermal pad uncovered. So we're good with that. Now, although I said I'm not going to remove it, yeah, I think I probably have to heat it up to get this off. Or maybe not. Well, I guess I won't be selling this if I destroy the sticker, huh? Well, that wasn't that bad. I'll save it and I'll put it on the bag that it came in, put it back in its box, and now I'll go ahead and apply this without any worries. So that should be helpful to remove heat, transfer the heat up properly, nicely. Now let's get this on. Looks like my oils in my hand transfer to this nice shiny stuff. I don't see any pad to lift off, so I'll polish it up later. All right. Here we go. OS M.2 installed. Very cool. Surgical removal of the label without destroying it. That's pretty unique. Don't always see that happen well. So I'll save that. Okay. Next up, let's get some RAM. Get some RAM going here. Ram-a-lam-a ding dong. Alright, here's some really beautiful RAM. Alright. Now, like I showed you earlier, I have version 4.24. This is all the same CMD 16 GX4 M2 B3000 C15. Timings on this guy are 15, 17, 17, 35. And what I'm going to do here is, I don't know, well, I guess I should open up the packages here. This really is some sexy RAM, isn't it? Now, although I am doing some of the, you guys may be asking, why don't you water cool it? This is too pretty to water cool. I have water cooled RAM before, and it really is for the bling. You don't need to water cool RAM. So I'm not water cooling this RAM. I'm gonna put the white light pipes in it. That's what I'm going to do for this. And you know what I'm going to do, just in case it makes a difference, I'm going to put this, all the same version RAM, in the these 4 in the gray slots, and then I'll put the other 4 in the black slots. Here's version 3.2.1, 4.2.4. Okay. Okay, so this is exact same RAM, but this is version 3.2.1. But what I don't like, look at that. The Dominator, the logo, is reversed. But I can fix that when I put the light pipes on. It's not going to matter. But that's strange, isn't it? I guess it has to do with the way they put it on. Yeah. Wow. That's weird. Oop. Put it in the wrong spot. So it's keyed differently, so you can't put a memory stick in the DIMM.2 slot, because I just tried to do it and it wouldn't let me. It got started on this, but then it said no way, Jose. Okay, so we have all this piece here ready to go. Now what I need to do is get a power supply and a monitor and a keyboard and a graphics card, and then we can fire it up and take a look and see what's going on in the BIOS. So let me get all that together and see this thing boot up for the first time. Now we're back at it. Now I am going to put some thermal paste on here, and I don't know if you guys have been watching the videos of everybody applying the thermal paste. Well, first of all, what I did is I mounted my H100i V2 to the back of the Proxys wet bench, and then I removed the thermal paste that came with it, and I have the bracket that came with Threadripper. That's a bracket that works on these all-in-one, so that it'll mount to the Threadripper socket. So, but anyway, people have been applying thermal paste. I think AMD says just to put like 2 equivalent grains of rice, but I'm going to do it the way I saw Steve on Gamers Nexus do it. I'm going to actually do, since where there's dies, I'm going to do it. Let's see, I don't know if you guys can see if I can do it 2 hands. I'm going to put one line like here. That's right, almost right down the middle of those 2 dies. And another one here. And just to be sure, I'm going to put a little, and actually Steve did not do it like this. This is my application. Bottom line, as long as there's paste in there. Okay, and I just ran out of AM4. Well, hopefully that does the job. I think it will. Alright. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of like 2 lines with almost an X in the middle. And I did wipe this down with alcohol. There was a little bit of paper towel on it. So let's see if I can get this lined up. I'm just tightening it all up. Right down. And the beauty of the socket, these Threadripper, it's dedicated, so you don't have to assemble anything. And it's kind of like the X99, where you just screw them right into the base. You don't even have to mount any kind of back plate to the back of your motherboard. Alright, so I think we're down as tight as we can go. Alright. Alright. Tight. Mounted. How do you say? Looking okay? Alright. Now let me get, I got the power supply in there. I've got to run some power cables. I've got to get a monitor and a keyboard. So let me get situated for that. And I'll be right back. Okay, I have a couple of cameras on this. I'm also recording in here to my uttermost what you're actually going to see on the display. So let's see if this works, and I'll be sharing this with you. So we got some nice lights. I don't know if you can see that, but that looks pretty cool. The RGB lights up down here, and it's just got a steady RGB glow going on down there. It looks really cool. Alright, I got power hooked up here, and power button should be right. Let's see. We got power going, some lights around in the RAM. Let's see if this passes the signal through from the GPU. I don't see anything yet. Got power to GPU. Should be good. But let's see here. There's no signal from your computer. Press any key. Oh, here we go. On this display I'm getting some. And I'm getting some here. Awesome. So let's go into, it just took a little bit. New CPU install. Of course. Threadripper. Oh yeah, we got plenty of memory there too. Awesome. Oh, I should be recording this. Yep. Alright, so hit F2 or F1 for setup. Nice. Okay, BIOS version is July 2017. I should check that. Get on the website. I know I have drivers on the little DVD that they provided. Little DVD, the USB I mean, that they provided. 4-point frequency, 4.2 megahertz. Wow, holy cow. This CPU is at 42 right now. Core voltage 1.3, 1.4, so this is just floating around. But damn, I thought I was going to have to, I wonder how high you can overclock this. Alright, let's make sure memory is recognized. Alright, so target speed of CPU according to this shows 3400 megahertz. The RAM, I gotta set the my RAM to something more like 3000, which is what it should be. Memory frequency. Alright, gotta see if there's something in here. Damn flies. Let's see if there's an XMP profile somewhere in here. There we go. DOCP recognizes the RAM, so that's good. And I'm leaving everything else right now. The core, I want that to be 4.2, but I'm not going to mess with any of that quite yet. Let's get the operating system loaded. Alright. Let's see about what else it recognizes. I don't have any TPM going here. ROG effects, yes, we'll leave that enabled. SATA configuration. Now I do have an M.2 on here. I don't have any RAID going on yet. There we go. Alright, these are M.2. I do have one in there, so probably something else I need to configure, but these are the DIMM 2 slot. Yeah, hon?
I'm here laying on the lounge.
Okay.
So it's nice breeze.
Alright, I think I'm going to take a break in a minute. I'll come out.
Okay.
Alright, so what we got here, monitor temperature, CPU temperature, says right now it's 56 degrees C. And idle, it's a little hot, but I don't know if that's typical for a Threadripper. I'm going to have to check into all that. VRM temps. Pumps going. Boot configuration. Oh, here we go. Here's our Samsung right there. Sweet. Alright, I'm going to leave this stuff like this. Exit, let me get a Windows 10 and start loading an operating system on this. Looking good. Alright, so right now let me go get a Windows 10 USB and plug it in here. Save changes. Don't know if I hit F. I have to hit F9 or anything, or F10 to get into the boot. But it looks like it may be trying to boot off of that USB. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. And I'm going to have to get a Windows 10 key. So one of the things that I was mentioning when I was going into the BIOS is I noticed that I was having some problems with configuring the RAM to get it to read at the right latency and speed. And it turns out that the motherboard was defaulting the base clock to like 104.2 or 102.4. And even if I use what the equivalent of AMD's XMP, it's a DOCP I believe it is, even with that it still wouldn't get it right. And when I started, I was getting into issues with even it being able to boot when I reconfigured a few things. So I went to overclock.net, and it's a great forum there on Threadripper and overclocking, and found a resource. I believe Raji, he's an Asus dude, and they've been working on BIOS updates to help with memory. So I did get the latest beta version of the BIOS they had, and used that, and that helped, but I was still not able to get the timings for this memory. For the Corsair Platinum I have, it's 3000 CAS latency of 15, 17, 17, 35, and at 3000, and it was rounding things up to like, not rounding up, but it was using the DOCP and even trying to manually select a different RAM speed. It wasn't going to get me 3000. It kept going to 3003 or 2997. Anyway, make a long story short, I did get that BIOS update, and I went in and manually entered in the the clock, and I also so the base clock, I changed it down to 100, and then I manually entered in the timings. I was able to figure out how to do that properly in the OS, and so then I ran some pass mark, and I ran ADA memory test, and then this is also right here, mem test 86. So that's been running for almost 24 hours now, and no failures. So I was getting failures before. I thought maybe I had bad RAM, but new motherboard, new BIOS, new processor. I thought I would first check all my resources, and that helped me prevent sending back this RAM. So the RAM seems to be just fine, and so for right now, at least I have the RAM running, and it's fine. I think I have it though at right at 3,000 or 2998. So I'm fine with that. It's passing. I don't have any issues. So now I'm going to try to overclock it a little bit. So and then yeah, I'm going to try to see if I can get a quick overclock that's stable. So I'm going to go ahead and try that now that I have the RAM stable. Okay, we're running right now. We have the processor set to 4.0 at 1.35 volts, and the RAM running at 2933 with the right timings. So, and the base clock's at 100. So far so good. Running ADA 64, stressing the CPU, the FPU, cache, and system memory. And temperatures right now on the CPU, I believe showing right now 33 degrees. But I don't know, we'll see. See how it goes? Let me bring you in a little bit closer. I don't know if you can read the CPU hardware monitor. So we're going to let it go, see how it does. See if we have a stable run. That would be sweet. It's only been going about 6 minutes right now, so we'll let it run for an hour or so, see if we get any issues. Well guys, sorry to report that I have been over the past few days running and testing RAM different speeds. I was able to get a couple of runs at 2133 with the 4.0 overclock passing, but not consistently. So it may be still BIOS issues that are not fully worked out yet. But the QVL list for this memory only verifies that 2 sticks will work. Well, you see I have 8 in this system, and so it's just not cutting it. I dropped it back to 4 sticks. I'm going to try some more runs with that, but I think at this point I've decided to buy some of the G-Skill the Trident RGB RAM. So 16 cast latency. It's been, it's got the Samsung B die. So I believe that will help. Also, again, on overclock.net, they've been great providing some support. Various guys on there is awesome forums. Anyway, that's one of the things that I've come to believe is going to help this. Maybe in the future, this Dominator, especially running 64 gigs, 8 sticks, that's asking a lot, I guess, for a relatively new motherboard and BIOS, so not many sticks, 8 sticks have been qualified, even on the QVL list. So that's where I'm right now. I hope you liked this video. It's quite long for a video log, but if you've been watching my videos, that's the way I roll. So if you like it, I hope you did. Please like and favorite, and if you're so inclined, please subscribe. That's it from Ron's and Nut. Be coming to you soon with the next one.